ago, and we ain't heard from him since. So for you
Right.
to sit up here and say black people didn't do this, that, and the third, no, it was 50. Ain't no 50-50 and nothing. You just mad because we're saying no. This is our creation, our style, our culture. But you get mad when we gatekeep our stuff. It's a problem. No, the problem was us giving it out to everybody and not having a standard to say, hey, you can listen to our ish, but don't come in here saying, oh, we help create. No, no, no. Don't even go there. You just mad because your stuff don't sell. Let's just keep it a buck. Let's just keep it a beam. Your stuff don't sell like that. Y'all nothing but Dollar General versions of black people. Fat Joe. And it's the same man who want to say the N word, but then when he got arrested twice, what was on his own arrest record? White, not Puerto Rican, but white. And I'm gonna land my plane there, and I'm gonna let somebody else cook this fat bastard.
Shout out to Wallow J for coming up. And yes, Jago, the room is full. I got the little pop up in the corner. They said the room is full. And I knew that was going to happen. But shout out to Wallow J for coming up and speaking his piece to this. Next up, we got Goddess M. What's going on?
Hey there, Brother Torian B1.
B1.
Of course, I had to chime in on this subject of Flabby Joe and all his antics that he chooses to do. He is really a laughing stock. No one has ever taken him seriously. We already know that it's supremacy that gives him these little outings and platforms and have pushed this second grade um, third world behavior acting, cosplaying anchor baby any light because he's never been anything in FBA Friedman um, playlist, party list, anything. We don't play his music at the barbecues, at any functions whatsoever. And if he did get any type of light, it's because of the FBA men and women who he does these appearances with. Other than that, he was long forgotten, and it was Big Pun who actually, when he was alive, gave homage to FBA because he knew who gave him his start and who allowed him the platform. And he gave respect like people should when they're in our house. And he hadn't had a hit since, and it's been close to 25 years, other than the appearances that he have done with other FBA artists. And also, it's just asinine for this idiot to constantly go out here and beat on his chest like the vanilla gorilla that he is, and do all these racial epithets and the discord, the disgust, and the vitriol that he has for our people shines through with his supremacy talking points, think tank talking points. It really shows who he is and what he claimed on his birth certificate as well as on his license and census. That
Guys, you still there? I don't know. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you. Like you just, it's like you just cut out, like you just went quiet.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I don't know. The phone had went, the little screen went black. But anyway, as I was saying about him being the idiot that he truly is, with all of his antics and things that he like to do, and those who give him the platform, we know that they're part of the establishment, and he wouldn't even have a voice if they wasn't putting this lackluster buster on him and his other Caribbean counterparts that take on this undermining mindset that they do towards FBA freedom culture. And we are the ones who validate and decide who is true and who are guests in our house that we'll give shine to, not record labels, not different other establishments that we know always have a hidden agenda to work against us. So having said that, family, we're going to keep giving these imposter cosplaying anchor babies with these undermining mindsets that ever loving work. And we are going to gatekeep our culture. We're going to gatekeep our intellectual properties, our music, our style of dress, and everything. These people try to always ride on our coattails and try to latch on to our history because their history evidently isn't great enough for them. And that's really sad because I feel that each culture with their own thing that they have to give, in their own lane, in their own light, in their own right, is to be celebrated. But evidently these people take on to what we've created because we are the greatest and we are the world biggest influencers. We are the innovators, the creators, the elevators. So you have to copy the carbon copy, the blueprint, the originators. Bow down, you're in our house and you're going to get checked accordingly. Thank you, brother. Peace and love and prosperity. Be one.
Be one. Appreciate you, Goddess. And before I bring up the next person, which group I want to see in the chat in particular, because y'all in the chat, what group was it that said or referred to hip hop in its early stages? They referred to it as jungle. Was it jungle bunny music or jungle music? Just let me know in the chat. But next up, we got Xavier. What's going on? Xavier, can you hear me? I think it might be a connection issue. All right, Xavier, I'm gonna bring you back down. If you want to come back up, you're gonna have to leave out and then come back up. It might be a connection issue on your end. All right, y'all know what time it is. Hurricane Niecy is about to sweep up to this panel. I can only imagine what she got to say. Oh, and Miss Niecy, again, forgive me for banning you. Like I said, I was trying to get that troll about it, but the chat was moving so fast, so your name popped up right behind them, and I got you before I got them.
All forgiven. All forgiven. Don't even worry about it. Good evening. Good afternoon to you, Torian, and family in the chat. Quick statement. That albino Ozempic Magilla gorilla is canceled forever by FBA. And as far as I'm concerned, you know why he's having this major internet meltdown? It's because FBA fucked up that DNC shield bag now, did we not?
Well, I didn't put that into perspective, but yeah, I guess you could say that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Fat Joe gonna be broke Joe here shortly. All right, that's all I gotta say.
All right.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Miss Niecy, for coming up. Next up, we got B First Is. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Tori?
What's going on?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, great. That's what's up, man. Because I'm using this technology. I got the Fango tech. No, I don't. All right, so I want to be clear. Can I be heard clear? Because I remember the last time I was on, and I listened back to myself, and I sound pretty muffled, maybe nasally or some crap like that. But hey,
I can hear you clear.
Okay. Thank you, Tori. Thank you. All right, so this Fat Joe thing, man, and shout out to the people before me, yeah, because you guys got all that history and hip hop and et cetera, and that's sad, you know what I mean? Because who does that in the sense of why are they so pressed? You know what I mean? I think just like that. Why are they so pressed? Why don't you just, get a kudos, hand over the acknowledgement, and do your thing and just shut up. You know what I mean? Like you awarded that, and I'm gonna say awarded because you're allowed to be a part of something that a genre of people created. Like you were allowed to be a part of that. Like people took you in and to speak that way. Now I gotta go to the spirit of this thing, Torian, because the total disrespect is something that is most appalling. You know what I mean? Like, dog, it makes me think of everything else that we have to go through in this country, as far as like what that propaganda machine has done. You know what I mean? That propaganda, the machine was mean. It's mean as crap because like it's a global thing, and then for this guy to feel so comfortable to have said those things, it was it put me beside myself, really, for real. And I listened to I think it was Lisa and LVZ, and I apologize if that's some, you don't like that type of thing, platform shout outs and whatnot, but I listened to them, and you know, yeah, they was the first to bring that to my attention, and I was shocked then. But I'm so like elated that how we respond to this situation as a people. I mean, that part right there alone, like you having this platform and the other platforms that exist within, I would call it black media, it's amazing to look at because we are showing up in this area like that. And that's awesome to me. So thank you, man. I appreciate it. I hope I wasn't long winded.
Oh no, you good. You good.
Yeah, yeah. I hope I wasn't long winded. And let me see. I have nothing else, man. Honestly, I'm just really really glad, to see our people like in this space, in this area, looking at it the way that we're looking at it. Because yeah, yeah, he really stepped in it. Like dog, you stepped in it, and whew, yeah, that's that. I got nothing else, man. I appreciate you, Tony. Thank you, man. I, I hope I was clear. I mean, like I said the last time, I sounded so bad, muffled yeah, muffled and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, no problem. Thanks for coming up.
I appreciate you, man. All right.
All right. Shout out to B First is okay. I think Xavier got his connection better, so we're gonna bring him back up. What's going on?
Hey, Brother Torian.
What's going
Shout
on?
out to you, B1 brother, and a Merry Christmas to you and everyone in the chat.
Appreciate it.
I hope y'all are doing good. This Fat Joe nonsense actually kind of broke my heart because I grew up listening to some of his songs and I thought it was cool. And then he starts showing his true colors, and I'm like, what are you even saying? This is the height of ignorance. For Christ's sake, do some research. Information isn't that hard to find. And you come out here and you start spewing nonsense without actually knowing exactly what, and you're all up in your feelings instead of actually listening to what you're hearing people, but you're not actually listening to what they're saying, and you're getting all up in your feelings. And I'm like, bro, Big Pun was legendary for a reason because he didn't disrespect the culture. He didn't disrespect the people who gave him the opportunity to even be a part of the culture. And that's the stark difference. And for the fact that he was that close to Big Pun and didn't get any of that is really, it's mind blowing. And I just think in the end, I'm glad to see that at least there's gatekeeping now because people, like you said, people are getting way too comfy, saying all type of nonsense and not actually. I don't get it, and I blame. Sorry to go into politics, but I blame a lot of this um, being comfortable in your ignorance to the MAGA movement because I mean when you think about it 45 he made being a stupid dumbass cool, like he basically his people, the less you know the cooler you are, basically that's what it comes across, and
And
it's just ridiculous.
the crazy part is a lot of people have always had these sentiments about us, but because there wasn't social media, we couldn't see it. So a
See
lot of
it,
the
yeah.
times the conversations that they had were behind closed doors. They weren't around the people that they were intended it for it to be about. And then it's almost like that song says, smile on your face all the while trying to take your place, backstabbers. Listen, that is such a classic song because it's timeless. It literally rolled through generations and still applies to this day because there are a lot of backstabbing elements out here, and a lot of them, and unfortunately, a lot of them could be in your family, and I'm talking about blood family, not people that you just call family. But
Yeah,
it's just it's unfortunate either
it is
way
sad.
how all of it plays out. But like I said, now that we're seeing it, now we can call it out. That's why a lot of people say, oh, why did y'all wait so long to call it out? Because we aren't there when they say those things back then. And again, like I said, on social media you can see everything. Back then 20 plus years
It was
ago,
harder.
You didn't know what was being said unless you were actually there
in the
and
room.
then if they did say it, you had to prove that they said it, which means you had to have like been like recording something, and we had to actually hear it. But now, because of social media, everybody has a voice. Everybody can type something, and they put it out there and feel like there's no shame, because a lot of people, what they're doing is they feel like they can hide behind a keyboard. Why do you think people like Amron Foodle talks about us the way that he does? Because he's behind a computer, he's behind an app when he's saying it. He's not saying it to none of our faces.
Yeah, that it just reminded me. Like, I think Mike Tyson said that people are getting way too comfortable about saying shit online and not risking getting punched in the face, because you can't walk up to a guy like Mike Tyson and talk shit to him, because obviously he's gonna knock you the fuck out.
You talking about the get on the plane? Is that the one you're talking about when he was on the plane?
Yeah. Like people get way too comfy saying stuff these days, and it's sad. It's sad that people are like this, but it's also understandable, because one thing I get is that Black people are some of the most welcoming people on God's green earth, especially FBA, and I could tell that, I could say that from experience. And so a lot of times, because all these people thought, oh, we have free reign, we could be part of the family, then you now start to co-opt the culture, like you've forgotten where you came from. Doesn't make any sense. It really, it's sad, because some of these guys, like I said, I grew up listening to some Fat Joe back then, and I used to think highly of him. I used to think he was cool, but time. What was that line from Batman? You either you either die a hero, or you live long enough
to see yourself become a villain.
Basically. Anyways, he really needs to stay. He really needs to stay in his lane and check himself before he does something irreversible. Anyways, that's really all I got. I just wanted to shout out to everyone. Have a very Merry Christmas and the rest of the holidays. And be one. That's all.
Shout out to Xavier for coming up. Next up, we got Black Rage. What's going on?
What's going on? B1. But anyway, like I was saying, how could they create hip hop when we had things going on like Pig Meat Markham, Here Comes the Judge? That happened like in the 30s or something like that. And he's basically rapping on beat. And you had like James Brown.
Yeah, a lot of people think that rap got started like in the 70s, but no, our people was rapping even before then. It's just the fact that it didn't have an official title to it. But when you listen to the cadence and you look and you look at it years later, it's like that's basically what they were doing. They were basically rapping on a song. They just didn't have a title for it.
Yep. My thing is how he looked flabby and sick and stuff. He worrying about us. He look like he's about to have a diabetic coma every time I see him. One eye limping, and like one eye bigger than another. So he don't ever look like he's about to have a coma or something. If y'all ever look at him, he look like he's about to be in a diabetic coma. And if it wasn't for Big Pun, he would never got his career would have been long since over. Because that little documentary he did a couple years back, he even said it. He didn't know what he was going to do after Big Pun died. And Remy Ma saved him with that song Lean Back, because he owed the IRS like some millions. So basically that song brought him from the brink. And he got the nerve to try to, I don't know, that just had me real upset. He tried to dump on us for some stuff that he just mad because he can't get another hit, you know? When the last time you heard somebody say, play that Fat Joe?
I'm laughing just thinking about you even asking that as a rhetorical question.
Yeah, because, and he always try to make himself look like a mythical tough guy. If you ever seen his like interviews, he try to make him seem like not what like he's scared of everybody where he's from. Because that's New York, homie. Because you come down south with that, we got something for you. Because we got the brothers that can get down with you. Try to make himself seem like he the boogeyman of the world. I'm going to say N-word and no one can stop me. I've had to tell the Dominicans when I was in the military, like, Hispanic, hey, don't say that N-word stuff to me. I'm from the South. We don't play that. We'll punish one of y'all out here. I've had some that was respected, some didn't. But either way, they didn't say it no more. And speaking of which, the closest one to he had a compadre was 6ix9ine, which we all know he is federal penitentiary now for breaking parole, and is a known snitch, and is a known pedophile. So,
be careful with that word.
Well, P word. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. He known for messing with kids. So, Fat Joe ain't got no room to talk. Anyway, that's all I had to say though. B1. Y'all have a happy holidays and happy New Year.
All right, shout out to Black Rage for coming up. Next up, we got Jesse. What's going on?
B1 salute to the family. FBA salute. Jesse Paris from Denver, Colorado. Hey, I also listened to punk ass Fat Joe back in the day. It was one album that I distinctly remember. Jealous One Still Envy. That's the one with Ashanti, What's Love. The only reason why I listened to that song was because Ashanti was on it. Like everybody,
like everyone only I'm gonna be honest with you. That's everyone only remembers that song because of the hook part of it with her on it. And it was the title, basically loosely the title was Love Got to Do With It by Tina Turner.
Yeah, that was a sample off of Tina Turner, correct. Outside of that, we wasn't fucking with no damn Fat Joke. He was the weakest one out of Digging in the Crates. He was the weakest one out of the Tether Squad. The mugs is lame. Like they was trying to reinvigorate New York scene. That shit was long dead. West Coast had took it and never let it go. And then the South had got it shortly after that. So he's trash. He's a culture vulture, just like Eminem, just like all the rest of these mugs. Busta Rhymes talking about we didn't have no culture, but yeah, you sitting up here leeching off of our culture, FBA culture. Everybody think that we OPP, our culture, our music is other people's property. Shout out to Naughty by Nature. Hell no. We're gatekeeping. This is our culture. And shout out to Sincere Love to God for going on Brother Rich's show this past week and doing some FBA straightening and setting the record straight while King Simon and the trolls, the tethers was getting on the panel talking that bull crap, talking about hip hop is universal and for everyone. No, the hell it's not. And we gotta stop letting all these other groups say the N-word. They need to stop saying nigga because they ain't us. They ain't have to go through us. They want our rhythm, but they don't want our blues. They ain't have the same stuff.
Notice, I mean to cut you off, but notice that when it comes to that word, they have no problem saying that word just so casually. I've even heard, now this is the crazy part, and you probably seen it too. Other PC people have called PC people that word, and I'm like, I think that was probably what blew my mind the most is when I saw that. But they noticed that they are so comfortable with saying that word, but if there was ever a N word for them, they don't want you saying it.
Right, that part. Like if we call them a bunch of spicks or a bunch of crackers or a bunch of wetbacks or a bunch of, I don't want to say the K word because I might get your show taken down, but you know what I mean. All these other groups, we can't insult them on wax on record, or maybe we should start insulting them on wax on record so they can get the goddamn memo that they need to stop calling us that word. They not naggers. They don't have that energy, as Lord Jamar and Brother Sanchez said. They ain't got that energy. They ain't got that Majara spirit. They ain't have to go through what we had to go through in this country. So until they have no right to be using that word. And I check them every chance I get. There's no passes given. I'm in Denver, Colorado. These essays out here think they can say nigga. I check them immediately. I literally got a reputation for knocking heads for saying that word. So that's OTBs. I don't tolerate that shit. Now, some of these off-code Negroes will tolerate that shit. And I got family in New York too. They too off-code with that shit. They allow these OTBs to get away with saying that shit. And we got to put a stop to that. So FBA, it's up to us to put a stop to that shit. No passes given. If you're not foundational Black American descendants of American child slavery freedmen, cuz don't say that word. No passes given. But I'm simulcasting on my platform too, Torian Frontline Black News. Make sure y'all check out Frontline Black News. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. That's all I got. Peace.
Peace. Shout out to you for coming up. Next up, we got Jonathan. Hold up, Jonathan. Jonathan. Jonathan, if you in a loud spot, you already know. You already know what that means. You know we can't hear you if you're in a loud spot. So when you get to a quiet area, put it in the chat, in the private chat, and let me know you somewhere quiet. All right, next we got Mr. Ishmael. What's going on?
Peace. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, peace, Tauran. How everybody doing? So I wanted to chime in on this. A lot was already said, but there were some things that I haven't heard too many people say over the past few days. I think that dropped on last Saturday, about this whole, ordeal. The thing about it is, if you listen to what Fat Joe was saying, that was pre-recorded. Of course, it wasn't live, but pre-recorded, I believe, as far back as last year, because he said, we got Yankee Stadium. We are doing the 50th at Yankee Stadium. So it was, to me, that signals that this was a setup. So he held on to this. I believe he held on to this, possibly already knowing the name of his album, because he kept tossing that in. I forget the name of his lame album that's out, but he kept tossing that in there. And if you're watching the eyes of Math Hoffa, it's like they leading each other off. And I watched this, everything that transpired after this, and even that I didn't see that tweet until you put it out there about what Math Hoffa said. I saw what he put out the other day, and I'm like, what are y'all mad about now? I said, oh yeah. Y'all think y'all the smartest people in the room. What they thought they were gonna do is throw some bait out there after the election, after she got crushed, because he was a huge supporter, right? So when it was mentioned in the chat earlier that, oh, that sounds like a Democratic talking point. Yes, it is exactly like them. One of the brothers that just came on was saying this is something like what 45 Trump was doing, to a degree. But no, this is more like what Democrats were doing. Okay. When they get angry and ticked off, then they want to lash out. All right. The Republicans don't necessarily do that. They're gonna tell you with their chest up front who they are and what they're about. These guys, that's where he's coming from that type of angle. So it wouldn't be surprising to me that this was all a whole setup, and now he's gonna try to sit back and they're gonna try to play and see if they can poke and prod at certain people to get this stuff to go viral. So I say, always go viral. No, you don't. You're known as a liar, okay? You're known as an embellisher of stories and stuff like that. So I want people to check that, not to say that, to look and say, okay, what does that matter? That matters that we be aware of what's going on. Yeah, check that fool. What he don't probably realize is he's probably gonna get his career crushed over this, because he got major sponsorship. And what a lot of black folks is doing is hollering at them sponsors. So you can't come around to these southern cities like a good brother, Great Black Shark, was saying, and thinking it's gonna be sweet. Not somebody gonna try to impose physical violence, but no, we about to get you up out the paint, homie. You got to go multicultural places like where he live at right now in Miami, to where you're not gonna be around foundational Black Americans, or you're gonna be around fellow tethers like yourself. And the Math Alpha dude, he's trying to play coy a little bit. Nah, check these clowns. It's up. It's up. It's up. Foundational Black American family. Keep listening to brothers like Torian Rain, good brothers like Dewan B, and that was mentioned. Sincere love to God when he went on. That was powerful the other day. Y'all keep doing your thing. Salute to you, brother.
Appreciate you, Mr. Ishmael, for coming up. All right, Jonathan said he's in a quiet spot now, so we're gonna try this again. All right, Jonathan, what's going on?
Sorry about that, Tauran. I was kind of like in a middle of a workout. Like, I wasn't expecting to be next that soon, but yeah, Fat Joe. I, I've been on to him since he made some certain comments that caused him some backlash, and I was going to give him a time frame to redeem himself. And when he started going live, and the only time he started, being put out again is when he's saying controversial stuff, especially towards us. So now that at this point, I realize after what he said, And then now you got the our attention about him. I realized I'm done with him. You know what I'm saying? He was already like side-eyed from me at once, and I was trying to let him give him a pass. You know what I'm saying? But now he's like, at this point, him doing this for attention, it ain't gonna matter. It don't matter to me no more. Like, you literally call us racist for gatekeeping our culture, and I'm like, how we doing that? And we're known to always let other cultures in our gates, because we don't believe in the skin color and ethnicity and not that like the other side do. And the fact that he got arrested, he called himself white. I wouldn't. I would expect, well, hoping to expect that the Puerto Ricans will claim him because we're not claiming no traitors. You're a black person, you call yourself what? You're a Puerto Rican, you gonna call yourself white and arrest record. If a black person did the same thing, put himself in white, he's gonna stay white because he's not getting no place in the black community ever again. So the fact, and like I said, I don't listen to a lot of this music, but his music came out where it attracted some attention. It was pretty good enough, and he wasn't a big time type of star. He wasn't any in kind of big time movies. I saw him in one movie on BT. It was like a movie with Q-Tip, but it wasn't nothing
Oh,
like.
I know what movie you're talking about.
Yeah, he got
I
killed in
forgot
that movie.
I forgot. Yeah, I forgot the name of that movie. I think Mary J. Blige was in that movie too. But yeah, I remember that
Yeah,
movie. I want to say either the late '90s or the early 2000s, but I know exactly what movie you're talking about. And it was almost like a mix between it's like a regular movie and then they had them doing music in it, so it was like a partially musical or something like that. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah,
Prison
and
song. Yeah, someone that said a prison song. That was the name of it. Thanks, chat.
exactly. Yes, that's the movie he was in. He got killed. I think he got ran over by a train because he
Yeah,
was messing.
he got pushed on the track.
Yeah, he was messing with Q-Tip and this girl on that movie, and he suffered.
He
And
put,
Q-Tip ended up going.
he had pushed him through the open door and he fell on the track and he got electrocuted.
Oh, yes, yeah, yeah, and that's what got Q-Tip arrested, put in prison. But yeah, Fat Joe is like he definitely played his character in that movie into real life really well because he's messing with the wrong ones and he don't realize that art imitates life. So he needs to watch what he says and better not be smart enough to say it to someone's face. Uh, but yeah, I'm done with him. I was gonna ride with him, for losing the weight, but then I saw how he looked, and I'm like, he probably did some surgery to a fat loss, not no real workout because that stomach is still fat and it's hanging down like some curtains. Yeah, it looked like some melted biscuits with arms and the head. He looks horrible. So, and the fact he called us racist, I'm so tired of people calling us racist. We're the only race that accepts any race, ethnicity, into whatever we got going on, ethnicity, events, whatever, a barbecue. Like whenever we have something, we don't mind nobody, coming through. Just don't cause no trouble, don't start nothing, and won't be nothing. You know what I'm saying? We accept people. You don't never see a sign saying blacks only or this is for blacks. We don't run no court systems. We don't have anything that has something to do with white supremacy. But yet we still racist. Like, aren't we the ones that, accept your Puerto Rican kind? Because some white folks ain't gonna do that for you. They look at, and if they did, they're using you to throw us under the bus.
Mhm.
And it's and you can pay for doing it. The moment the day you stop doing it, you out of there. Like you no longer exist to them, and you're not gonna come to us. And like I said, when stuff starts messing up with them, then they're gonna be like, "Hey, black people, it's time to stick together." We hear what you're saying now. It's like, nope, too late, too late. You made your bed, you gotta lay in it. You gotta do this fight for yourself. We done fighting for people that's fake towards us. So, we're the real, since we're the racist ones towards you, you know what I'm saying? Go fight your battles against those who you feel like that's not racist. Pick a community. In other words, pick a struggle. So I'm gonna let my plan right there, man. I gotta finish this workout because I gotta be at work by 2. But
Right.
it was thank you for letting me in.
No problem. Shout out to Jonathan for coming up. Next we got Blue Bolt S&P.
Yo, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah. Salute to you. Salute to your panel, man. Salute to your platform and everything. Like, after millions of years, 500 years of slavery, 500 years of civil rights, 500 years of struggle through other races, being put down and everything, and being discriminated against. It's no surprise by Sloppy Joe. Yeah, I think he's an industry plant. You know what I mean? Now, way back in the night, I remember Fat Joe, Sloppy Joe, when he was a member of the DITC. Even then, I wasn't too crazy about Fat Joe. He wasn't better than Big Gal, Lord Finesse, all those guys. Then he tried to put together Terror Squad because his career was like mediocre at best. You know what I mean? He had a couple of albums, but then again, yeah, I think a lot of these Hispanics, a lot of these Puerto Ricans, they're culture vultures. They copied off us. They got a lot of our ideas. They got a lot of our things that we perfected, things that we came up on, you know, through struggle, trials, and tribulations of being an FBA, you know, the civil rights movement, you know what I mean, 500 years of slavery and all that stuff, you know, and Fat Joe, just the industry man, and basically he opened the door for Eminem, you know, and that whole interview with that barbershop setup, that really opened my eyes to who this guy really is, man. That really opened my eyes to who this guy really is, man. It's like,
I saw what he was. I saw what he was like even before this. But I'm glad that, I'm glad that people like yourself now actually see, and many other people.
Right. I was signing him, you know what I mean, because some of the stuff he was saying and doing was like, dude, you out here doing too damn much and everything. You know what I mean? You saying all this stuff like hip hop was raised through the Hispanic culture, and no, it wasn't. Way back in, I wasn't up in New York, but from what I hear, back in the late 70s, early 80s, they turned their nose at hip hop. You know, their culture was merengue, salsa, and all that stuff. You know what I mean? They basically copied of what hip hop was and became, and tried to, you know, take it as they're part of the culture now. No, it don't work that way. It don't work that way. It don't work that way. It don't straight up work that way. You know what I mean? And for this guy to use the N-word so loosely, he opened the door for people like Eminem's ass. And I can't stand Eminem. You know what I mean? And like I said, he splurged off of DITC crew. He splurged off of Big Pun, and he tried to get some type of notoriety and fame through this whole lean back thing. I wasn't even a fan of the song. I mean, it was okay, but shit. For me, it's just I don't know. But it's no shocking, man, because you got 1,000,001 Fat Joes out there that we don't know about. They're all part of the Hispanic culture. These white Latinos, you know what I mean? A lot of these guys, they try to come in our zone, come in our space, acting like they're part of our culture, part of our struggle. But really, they're just opportunists. You just look at somebody like a Rosie Perez. Do you remember? I know you remember this. You remember she accused somebody on the set of Do the Right Thing of rape and following her? Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. It's the same thing, man. You know what I mean? It's like crazy, you know, just like, and I didn't experience racism, you know, because I'm from a Midwest town here in Ohio. And where I'm at, a whole segregation of Puerto Ricans came in our city. But I didn't experience actual racism with those sector of Puerto Ricans. But I do know, it's a lot of ignorant ones around here, man. I got one down the street here where the dude, I'm thinking he's Puerto Rican. He's definitely Puerto Rican, right? But he voted for Trump. Got Trump flags, had Trump signs all over his house, all over his pad and everything, right? So now, little do they know, you vote for 45, whatever, but if you're in this country illegally, you're about to be up out of here January 25th. So it's like you voted for this guy for nothing. You did all this racism and capping and this two-faced culture for nothing. So for me, Fat Joe is just one of these industry plans. He's a culture vulture. He's a culture. He's a culture plan, And all this crap don't surprise me. Even before all this came about, I started to look at him sideways, man. And it's not just him. It's a lot of these like ethnic groups that think they can come in and like actually understand what being an FBA is. Never been discriminated against. Never went through racism. None of that stuff. And it's kind of some of our faults because we invited some of these people into our culture when they actually know they haven't really actually experienced or been through what our culture actually is and what the struggle and the survival of what actually took to get to this point. And hip hop is one of those struggles. But Fat Joe is just an industry plan to me, man. Like a straight up industry plan,
All right. Was that it?
Yeah, that's it. If I went too long, if I sound strong-winded, I apologize, bro.
All right, well, thanks for coming up.
Oh, no problem, bro.
All right. Well, look, someone spun the block to want to come back up. I guess they had some more they had to say. And this is going to be the last person. Goddess. What's going on? Apparently you said I had one more. You said I had something more to say.
Indeed, I do, brother. Thank you so much. If you don't know, now you do. Please tap in, share, like, subscribe, and support our wonderful brother, Tauran Rain Reloaded. He's one of our young shining stars on New Black Media. So, yes, it's so nice, brother. I had to tap in twice, I tell you. We are such wonderful people that we show humility, kindness, and acceptance for other people other than our own. But I will say this, as it's been stated many times, that we've never not said that they didn't do anything to contribute to hip hop. I will say this. I won't even call it contributing because they didn't do anything to elevate it. They didn't do anything to add to it, to uplift it, to extend it, other than cosplaying and taking from our art form. And in many ways, different elements of our culture. They lie. They try to say that they started the graffiti or the tagging, when we all know that was an FBA man. They try to say that they were the B-boys and girls. Nothing could further be from the truth, because we been doing this since before you can even formulate the word America. So it goes before even recorded art forms, which were all done first and foremost by our people, FBA freedmen. So for these other people, just admit, just bow the knee, kiss the ring, show the appreciation, pay homage to the people who created the art form. And not only this art form, damn near all art forms of music, especially emanating out of America, although other cultures do have their own indigenous art or form of music, but not to the capacity of what we've created and what we have given to the world. And we have every right as a lineage to support, protect, and keep elevating and being the innovators that we are and the creators that we are. But just because if we lost interest or let something die down a little bit that we created in our culture, don't mean we don't want it, we don't like it, that we no longer.
Oh, God, it's your thing. Your mic went out again. I don't know what happened.
Now, brother.
Okay, you sound good now.
Okay. As I was saying, just because if we lay something down and no longer show, you know, enthusiastic about being interested in it, doesn't mean we forgot about it, that we no longer own it or it's forgotten about. It's just there because we're constantly creating, elevating, and putting out, you know, new material because we are creators. That's just what we do. It doesn't give other cultures and other people the right to come in and raffle through our crates or our archives and pick up the pieces and say, "Oh, we created it," because you discovered, because you didn't discover it, but you
Sounds
took
very
note.
colonizing.
Right, colonizing, exactly. That's the exact word for it. It doesn't give you that right to stake claim to something that is not yours. You did not create it. You did not nourish it. You did not put it out there for the world. All you did was pick it up and put your little spin to it, um, and started acting like it was yours. The definition of cosplaying, the definition of tethering on, and you know, being interlopers, taking something that is not yours for your own benefit and your own rise, while denying the originators and the creators of that um that that right. So I just had that to say. Thank you for allowing me to come back up
No problem.
again. Not that other cultures have not, you know, contribute anything to their own cultures. We've even went in their cultures and elevated their cultures for them. You're welcome. And gave them different art forms and a voice to speak, because we are that people. We are the shine every time. So we're not going to let, you know, vanilla gorillas and others come on here and do a lot of derogatory and a lot of racial slurs and everything else, and say that they have a right to do it and they're not going to change it. Well, guess what? It's not all right, and you will be forced to change it, because we have the power to make sure that you don't, because we will not support your rubbish. And any platform or anyone who chooses to support you and put you out there, because you do not speak for us, you do not represent us, and that's that. And we shall continue to gatekeep. Peace and love and prosperity. Be one, brother.
Be one. Shout out again to Goddess for coming back up and closing us out. Someone asked what was Goddess's channel. I don't even think Goddess has a channel. She's just, you know, she's a contributor to the New Black Media, as you all heard right here. But shout out to everybody that came and spoke up. I kind of figured this was going to be one of those lives where I was going to have a lot of people that wanted to contribute as far as lending their voice. But let me get these last few super chats out here, because there was some more that came in while I was having the panel up. Shout out to Neo Panther for the 2. He says Large Joseph needs to shut up. Shout out to Speedy Thunder for the super sticker of the $9.99. Ozzy for the 5. He said Town Biz gave him the perfect name, Fat Joke, because that's what he is, a joke. Ozzy again for another 5. He says, and to add insult to injury, he don't even write his own ish. Now, that's one thing that if you are a quote unquote rapper, you need to know how to write your own rhymes. Shout out to Ozzy for the 5. He said, in all of his top hits, which are a few, were collabs. Yeah, that's very interesting. If you look at most of his collabs that he's done over the years, which were with other Black entertainers, whether they rapped or they were singing, those were a lot of his big hits. So that just shows a lot of his biggest hits, he couldn't even get on his own. And also the last one, DeMarcus, shout out to you for the 5. He says they're trying to tear down hip hop to build up country music, which is also ours. Keep a pin in that, because the usual suspects were mad at Beyonce's halftime performance that she did yesterday during the Christmas game. I'm gonna do a live on that one on New Year's. He says they're trying to tear down hip hop to build up country music, that people are going for the bait and don't even see it. I appreciate you. But again, I appreciate everybody that came through. We cracked 1,200 live viewers in today's stream. Another successful midday stream. I didn't even think this was going to happen again, at least not this year. But we did it, y'all. And we will be back on here tomorrow. I got of course, the 10 a.m. premiere video. You will see the window for that. I might put the window up for the live tomorrow because it's going to be a live tomorrow as well. But that's going to be at 6. So be on the lookout for that. And with that being said, everyone, y'all enjoy the rest of your Thursday. I will talk to you later. Be safe and be well.